Probably won't murder you. Probably think I won't murder you the way I smile, but I'm gonna take a
Now,
lot of
I'm gonna take
shots.
a lot of shots.
AI
AI
style.
style. And Jada, the name is filthy, but so what? The motherfucking game is filthy. You know
You
what?
know what?
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
it was a time where, like, to me, still Styles and Jada can do no wrong, but this was like the epitome of they cannot. Like, this was the time for me. So again, just seeing that collab, uh, not to jump in first, but like, I wish
No,
this wasn't the last song on the project. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't feel like a last song on an album. That's my only like issue with it.
I would
It's
agree.
just we're gonna go from this to the remix to grinding, and it's just like I understand leaving people wanting more, but fuck you, I wanted more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, give me one fire outro song
This
to
is
at
a
least like
penultimate joint. Like it
exact.
needs to find. But the problem is, sometimes Sean, we do these things, and it's like, this probably was a better first joint, and this probably was a better last joint. They don't have a better last joint on here. There's
No,
no
They
last
don't.
song on here.
You know what?
They needed to record it.
They
They
could
not record it.
they could put "Grindin'" as the last
Yes,
song. Like
Grinding could have been
maybe,
the last song. Sure.
but that's not a great pick. That's like trying
Nah.
to put a Band-Aid on a very evident problem, because that was my number one note for this song. I do like this song. It's a cool beat, kind of unorthodox beat, even kind of, and it's dope to hear all the other MCs on it. But it's not a last song at all. It really ends it on a very strange, because this is the end of the album. And if it is the penultimate song, it's definitely not to lead into two unnecessary remixes that no one ever listens to, which I'm just
no.
going to say. Yeah, so I don't know. My vote was to keep, and I think it's super dope, but it is a weird last song.
When you think about bookending things too, like, it's such a strong intro to not have a real finish. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, and I would even add to that more. Like, there's like two or three songs in the beginning of the record where there's, we here, this is our story, this is how we came up. So there's so much storytelling in the front half of the front beginning of the record, and then it all goes away. Like, there's no more. All right, this is how we came up. And then I guess it's like, now we're going to tell you about our lifestyle, maybe, I'm assuming. But there's no, at least from my taste, there's no like wrap up to that. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't wrap up. It just, we're still telling you about we're just going to tell you about our lifestyle. You know what I mean? I wish there was a close to this album that would have made it feel more like a thing. But,
Well, you know
it's
what?
a weird,
You know what?
ending.
What it could benefit from is if there was a song where this would go against their entire steez, but if there was a song that expressed more of the complexities of, like, it's not always great having to sell cocaine, like maybe there are shades of gray to this lifestyle, even though it's great. There's things that kind of puts some sort of narrative bow on it, but it's kind of like, yeah, this is where we come from, and we're better than you, and this is how we lived, and that's just what it is. And there's not really like a great punctuation to the statement.
Punctuation is the right word.
Yeah. So,
but the joint's dope, and I voted to keep it.
Yeah.
I feel like Virginia could maybe be a good outro song, but it sits so well. It sits so well at number 3. I didn't want to say it, but I feel like if you were going to end the project on any of these tracks that I'm looking at, it would probably be Virginia, because it's a little more stoic. It's a little darker. It's a little more like what Sean was saying, where it's like, this is the reality of what we're dealing with, even though like we're glorifying a lot through this whole project. Here's Virginia, and shit's fucked up. But because it makes such a good point of like, we agreed on the first 5 songs in a row. Obviously they make sense in that order, like, because like that was nonstop, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We all agreed on those. But if there was one I'd pick for like switching things around, it would be that. Outside of that, it's a keep for me, just because I mean you've got Jadakiss, Styles, Malice, and Push over like a super interesting Neptunes beat that we know probably did not get pitched to anybody else.
Yeah,
like that probably did not. And like, I'm assuming nobody passed on any of the other beats, so maybe there was nothing else to put on the end of the album. You know? like you know, like Jay-Z and Nelly and all these other people said yes to all the other songs, so maybe this is just what was left, you know?
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna keep it. Look, we alluded to this before. There's 2 more remixes of Grindin' on the album. Rob, you can just play them both back to back here. But we got the Grindin' remix featuring Birdman, Lil Wayne, and Nori, and then the Grindin' Selector remix featuring Sean Paul, Bless, and Cardinal Official. I mean, these are just the definition of inessential to me. And I just don't understand. I don't think anybody was. I think Grinding was hot enough that this wasn't going to entice anyone to cop the album if they weren't going to already. It's like, I'm kind of on the fence. Oh, you got fucking Nori and Cardinal on the fucking Grinding remix? Okay, take my money. Like, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. I don't know. But they're both cuts to me.
Yeah.
I didn't even listen to them, so I don't know.
You don't need to. You don't need to. And it's not shitting on any of the artists. It's just not. It's just. It's almost
it's like freestyling over the beat.
Yeah, or it's almost like in like Jamaican like reggae music where like everybody like hops on like, you know, a certain rhythm. You know what I mean? Like this is like, okay, here's the grind. Like,
yeah,
it is 2002. It is of the time. Perhaps you'd like to rhyme on this beat that is like revolutionizing radio, but like. No, but they didn't make it their own, I don't think. Cap, do you have any like counter to that?
I really assume that like the rap remix came from 2 different studio sessions. Like whatever they were doing with Nori for like Nori's new album that ended up with like what Nothing was like Nori's big hit around 2002. So this was probably from the Nothing fucking, or just hit up Nori like, hey man, we need a solid real quick. Nobody knows who these guys are, but you know, we got them. And I don't know around when What Happened to That Boy was recorded, but I'm assuming that's where the other 2 verses came from because they're Bird and Wayne probably wrote both of them in a session for a Baby album. Would be my guess. So it's like it seems more like a remix of Circumstance more than like a really really dope remix. Like the best remix from 2002 is They Shootin', Nas, Luda, and Jada is probably that remix is like motherfuckers showed the fuck up. Does the remix have new verses from Malice and Push on it? That's the only thing that like I didn't go back and check. I feel like it has different verses for some reason, and like
it does. The rap remix does,
and they're dope verses. They're fucking dope verses. So like that's the only thing I would point out is like I know if you want to hear even more Clipse over the grinding beat, that's what the remix is for. But Wayne, Nori, and Baby, Wayne, sure. Like I'll always seek out a new Wayne verse and like don't check them no because they stuffed with Blow Wheezy Baby. Like I remember his verse from the remix, but it's not like this phenomenal. And this was mixtape Wayne at the time. It's not even the best mixtape Wayne verse. So it's just like I can do without it. It's fine.